Joining me now from Queen's Park on the first day back of the legislature's sitting for the fall session is MPP for Northumberland-Peterborough South, David Piccini. David, welcome. Thank you for taking the time out, and certainly some big news occurring and the recent cabinet shuffle of you changing positions and now leading the Ministry of Labour, Immigration, Training and Skills Development. So talk about how Mr. Ford approached you and jumping from the Ministry of Environment to this new portfolio.
Thanks, Mark. Really excited to take on this new challenge. I loved my time at Environment. I'm very proud of the things we'd accomplished from 2 new parks, first all season operating in over 40 years, first conservation reserve in 10, largest protection area initiative in the last decade in Ontario. So a lot to be thankful for there, and very grateful for the relationships that were built. But excited to take on the new challenge. I mean, as we build Ontario, build the public transit we need, the roads, highways, and bridges, hospitals, and long-term care homes, we're going to need workers. And so I'm really excited to take this on, working with labor unions, working with new Canadians on the immigration file and the skills development pipeline with our post-secondary institutions, colleges, universities, and of course, K-12 schools as well.
Lots to talk about, David, but for this interview, we're just going to specifically talk about you shifting portfolios. And once we get together for a regular Queen's Park report, we'll expand on more and what's happening in the province of Ontario and such. But let's talk about having to fill the shoes of Monte McNaughton, who certainly over the last number of years has made such great inroads with labor unions across the province, and we certainly saw that during the last election, where a number of unions were behind and supported the progressive conservative Doug Ford government in the last election. So big shoes to fill.
Absolutely, I recognize that, and I've spoken with Monte a few times already. So looking forward to continuing on that. I mean, it's no secret that, you know, I think we were very clear on the campaign promise we made Ontarians that, you know, we have to build. We have almost 1 million people landing either in the form of students or new Canadians every year, of which almost 800,000 end up in Ontario. And so for that, you're going to need new homes. And if you consider that we had 100,000 housing starts, 100,000, Mark. You think 800,000, there's a delta there of 700,000. Where are these people going to live? And so I think back to, you know, my own family's experiences, as so many who've immigrated in one form. Many of our grandparents, parents, etc., immigrated to this country. The dream of home ownership, the dream of working and a job, you know, is something with respect to home ownership that's become far too distant. So unions recognize that there's only really one party that's treating this with the sense of urgency that it needs. That's our Ontario PC party, to build and to say yes to these strategic investments. You know, we are making historic investments in schools, new hospitals, roads, and bridges. Opposition, you know, Liberals and others are just voting against and have no plan for how we're going to grow Ontario. So you know, I think Monte did a great job bringing labor unions, which traditionally have never supported our party, on side. I was on a job site this morning. There's a lot of excitement over building something and seeing, you know, a building. I was at a high rise come to fruition, and you know, intensifying that development. We see that in the number of high rises under construction in Ontario. So I'm excited to work with these unions. It's a two-way street, as I've always said, and I welcome their ideas.
So talk about the transformation. What happens behind the scene, David, from shifting portfolios from Ministry of Environment to switchly trying to catch up to your new role?
Yeah, it's you know, I think for me, I woke up on Friday in Port Hope. You know, went into the office, decided to, you know, not decided. I had to go down for a meeting with the Premier on industrial decarbonization in the steel sector with a number of our steel leaders. And of course, we're doing great work there in Ontario. And when I got there, Premier pulled me aside and said, he had other plans for me, and asked me to take on this exciting portfolio. And it's exciting for me because in the environment, I've had a great exposure in the steel sector, public transit, and now to sort of work on the worker side with hand in hand with unions, with skills development. Of course, when I started as parliamentary assistant colleges and universities, I had the training file. So for me, it's really exciting to now continue that, working with Skilled Trades Ontario, Skills Ontario, and so many more. I think fondly to meetings I've had with local trustees over skilled trades and the importance that that plays in our local system in Northumberland. So I'm really excited to take this on. And so for me, it meant literally hopping on a Zoom with the staff, saying goodbye to everyone, the deputy, the department. I was on a briefing that day, knowing that I was leaving, but couldn't say anything till I was sworn in. So I wrapped that briefing up and let the team know, and then went into a new office today. I'm still finding out where the washroom is, where my office is, and getting to know the new staff as we prepare to introduce legislation in the next month. So there's certainly no time. I was reading all Sunday, up at 5 today to get on a job site for 7, and then in the office for 8:30 for first meeting. So I suspect long days, lots of reading, lots of work. I can't seem to get away from that, but that's fine. I love it. So I'm learning more every day. And I've been really touched, Mark, I would say on a local level by conversations I've had with local labor leaders. For example, had a good chat with Ricardo at our local Liuna about work they're doing. Spoke with Bird Construction, who are doing work actually on my street. I spoke with Henderson, Steve and the team. He's a great local employer. And so just what more we can do. Terry Brown's been a real champion, local trustee in the skilled trades. So I can't wait to, take this file and hopefully run with it to support our own community.
David, congratulations. Thanks for taking time out of your schedule. I know that we've tried to
Thank you.
work on this for the last couple of days trying to get in while you're trying to get situated in your new role. So I do appreciate taking the few minutes that you had before you get back into the House to sit in the legislature for the afternoon session. So thanks very much. And we'll
Thanks
see
very
you
much.
in future episodes of Queen's Park Report.
Thanks, Mark. Looking forward to it.